Hello everybody, I'm Kevin Wynn and this is Rewind, the show that looks back on Florida's past through historic film and video. This time, local TV made from scratch. We'll get a look at what the local news looked like almost 60 years ago on August 7th, 1957.
From the Television News Center of the South, here's today's Florida News Picture.
First up, the 6 o'clock news, headlined by the impeachment trial of a state judge and trouble for an alcohol rehab center in Miami. Also in the news, the Asiatic Flu is diagnosed in Miami and live in-studio commercials for Canada Dry. Now, here's Ralph Rennick.
Watch the Jimmy Dean Show Friday at 6:30 on Channel 4, WTVJ.
From the Television News Center of the South, here's today's Florida News Picture.
Canada Dry, America's favorite ginger upper, presents WTVJ's news director, Ralph Rennick, reporting the news.
State senators today listened to a parade of character witnesses in Tallahassee testify on behalf of a Miami circuit judge whose career is on the ropes. And here is what some of the witnesses said at the impeachment trial of Dade Circuit Judge George Holt. Federal Judge Emmett Choate. Holt, if cleared, could return to the bench with honor and dignity. Episcopal Bishop Henry Ludet of Winter Park. Holt is a man of integrity. Former Congressman Bill Lantaff. Anyone in public office is in somewhat of a fishbowl. Charges against them can certainly adversely affect them. Holt had an excellent reputation prior to the April grand jury report. Former State Senator Bun Gautier. I think Holt has acquired a reputation as one of the outstanding judges in the state. A vote on Holt's guilt or innocence will come sometime next week. WTV staff artist Roy Ritzel, who has been covering the trial, comes up with this composite sketch. On the right sits Chief Supreme Court Justice Glenn Terrell, who presides. Beneath him, the witness table with court reporters. At this table sits the defense team. This is Judge Holt, and this is Richard Hunt, Holt's counsel. He expects to wind up his case tomorrow. He doesn't know whether Holt or Mrs. Holt will take the stand. And here's a close-up picture of the judge. Two attorneys testified today that receiver L.J. Curlin did competent work in 6 cases assigned to him by Holt. Leading members of the prosecution team, Representative Jack Musselman and Representative Tom Beasley. More news. Now here's Noah Tyler to report for Canada Dry.
Canada Dry makes it easy to be a good host. Canada Dry's years of experience and know-how have produced a line of quality beverages that just can't be beat. All the host has to do is uncap the bottle and pour. And there's the perfect mixed drink. What's more, Canada Dry has a mixer for every taste, so you can please every one of your guests. World-famous Canada Dry Ginger Ale, with that light, dry, fresh flavor that comes from the world's finest ginger and other premium ingredients. Canada Dry Club Soda that keeps your drink sparkling bright right down to the last sip. Canada Dry Quinine Water, made dry and delectable to suit American tastes. And new Sparkling Grapefruit, a great new mixing sensation. Yes, Canada Dry makes it mighty easy to be a good host. How can you go wrong when you have world-famous Canada Dry? All these great Canada Dry mixers contain exclusive pinpoint carbonation. The carbonation proven better for you in tests recently conducted at a leading university. Canada Dry Ginger Ale, Club Soda, Quinine Water, and Sparkling Grapefruit. Get a supply tomorrow.
Dade County Commissioners today turned down several requests for continued use of county property for an alcoholic rehabilitation center. Commissioners also turned down a request for $23,000 to be used for rehabilitation work. 2 delegates made their wishes known. Ma Green, a pioneer in work for chronic alcoholics, asked commissioners not to tear down the building now being used as a clinic. She was followed by Municipal Judge Henry Balaban. He said county-owned property on the old country club site is the only building suitable for the project. There's Judge Balaban. Commissioners, though, reminded him the building had been given over to the rehabilitation group on a temporary basis only. Chairman of the commission, Ferris Cowart, turns the group down.
alcoholics rehabilitation program. We cannot at this time grant to you any quarters, inasmuch as it has been determined by the Board of County Commissioners that none are available. So we can only at this time tell you that we have a continued interest in the program, that we shall consult with our county manager on his return and explore possibilities for the future.
Ma Green operates homes for down-and-out derelicts. Asked to comment on the Commission's refusal for help, she had this to say.
Ma Green, what is your reaction to the Commission's ruling this morning?
I believe they're trying their best to cooperate, but there are certain things that's a problem to them, and I believe they will do everything in their power to find means and ways for the continuation of this rehabilitation center.
What will your next move be?
Well, we'll wait about 3 or 4 weeks, and if we don't get any word, we will start different ways and means and ways to see that we will continue this great work for the boys.
In connection with this problem, WTVJ News Tonight presents a special program in connection with the alcoholic. This is a scene familiar to thousands of families in the Miami area. It is an alcoholic regaining consciousness. One of the most vicious aspects of alcoholism is the shakes. This is not an exaggeration. This is refined torture. An examination of the alcoholic and his problem on AA Open Meeting, tonight, 10:30, Channel 4. Well, now that a city council rezoning vote on Miami Beach has been overruled by the voters, beach administrators don't know what to do with that mile-long strip of oceanfront. The council met today, but only to canvass the results of yesterday's special election. An almost 3-to-1 vote against putting hotels on land north of the Eden Rock Hotel has left everything up in the air. A Supreme Court ruling says 600 feet of the strip is open for hotel building. But yesterday's vote makes the rest of it residential. Beach Mayor Ken Oka comments on the confusion.
The matter is further complicated due to the Supreme Court's decision rezoning 600 feet of the strip last week. The Supreme Court in its decision stated that it would not substitute its decision for the opinion of the Miami Beach City Council. The question now is that the opinion of the Supreme Court may be reversed because the City Council's opinion has been substituted by the voice of the people. What will the Supreme Court do in light of this decision is yet to be decided.
Circuit Judge Stanley Millage will decide tomorrow whether or not Councilman Sam Halpern, he's a former councilman, had a legal right to vote for rezoning since he owns property along that strip. Miami had its first reported cases of Asiatic Flu. Crew members of 2 Chilean airliners apparently contracted a mild form of the new virus in Santiago. They became ill after flying here. The malady lasts 3 to 5 days. It has not led to complications such as pneumonia, which accounted for the most deaths in the 1918 epidemic. Dr. Walter Sackett, president of the Dade County Medical Association, discounts any danger of an epidemic in this area. Cries of injustice heard in the Miami Beach courtroom today. The crier, Bucky Harris, Miami and Palm Beach businessman. Harris was arrested last week by policeman Sonny Schoenberger, charged with being unable to give a satisfactory account of himself. Today, in Judge Saperstein's court, the prosecutor dropped the charge. Harris claims his reputation has been damaged and that a not guilty verdict should have been handed down. He was arrested because he couldn't produce ownership papers for his car. He had them in court today. Harris was also arrested last week by Bal Harbor police, charged with defrauding an innkeeper. The Americana Hotel says Harris owes them $1,000. He's free on $500 bond in that case. In Fort Lauderdale, Luther T. Health is in critical condition after losing both his legs when he fell against a giant lawnmower today. The blades passed over him. Doctors amputated his legs immediately after he was rushed to a hospital from a large field where the accident occurred. A state senator says tonight the Florida legislature could draw more capable lawmakers with a big pay increase. Senator Fred Dickinson of Palm Beach County comments before the WTVJ News camera in Tallahassee.
With the fantastic growth of Florida, particularly during the years since the end of World War II, it has become increasingly obvious to me and more so now that I'm in the Florida legislature, having served both in the House and now in the Senate, that the personnel and the financial arrangements relative to the members of the Florida legislature is inadequate, and under its present status of compensation at the rate of $100 a month and $15 per diem during the time we're actually serving in the legislature, merely acts as a deterrent to good men running for the legislature and is an encouraging feature for good men who are now in to get out. I should think that a basic minimum of $3,600 a year should be paid as compensation to the members of the legislature. In addition thereto, they should have certain allowances for telegraph, telephone, and the likes during the months that they're at home working with their constituents on the home base.
Dickinson says the matter of a pay increase will be taken up, may be taken up, during the special session on constitutional revision later this year. The recent segregation ruling at a North Miami junior high school principal came under fire today at a meeting of the Dade County School Board. Dr. Joe Hall, school board head, reads a letter recommending that the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals segregation ruling be taken to the Supreme Court for review. The ruling reversed Miami Judge Emmett Choate's dismissal of a suit brought by Negroes attempting to enter white schools. The board unanimously adopted the recommendation today, will carry the case to the High Court now. Teachers Union President Elvin Albaum reads a resolution charging Principal W.E. Rice with unprofessional and unethical conduct. Albaum charges that Rice recommended the transfer of a teacher solely because he is a union member. A final story in a moment. Here's Noah Tyler for Canada Dry.
When people think of flavor, of sparkle, of purity, and of quality in beverages, they automatically think of Canada Dry. No other ginger ale, no other club soda, no other quinine water in the world today can touch Canada Dry in popularity. Here in the Miami area, Canada Dry stands head and shoulders over all the rest. An important reason for Canada Dry's popularity is exclusive, pinpoint carbonation, which you're looking at now. Actually aids digestion and lessens the danger of after effects. In other words, you can enjoy your favorite drink and be assured you're doing it the sensible way. And Canada Dry has a mixer for every taste. Light, dry, delicious Canada Dry ginger ale, everybody's favorite. Canada Dry club soda that keeps your drink sparkling, bright, right down to the last sip. Canada Dry quinine water, outselling all other quinine waters combined because it's made the way Americans want it. New sparkling grapefruit, a great new taste sensation. For flavor, sparkle, purity, and quality, look for this display and buy Canada Dry.
An English couple learns how to stretch 100 pounds into enough American dollars to vacation in Miami. Mr. and Mrs. Stanley Wooten are welcomed to Miami by the mayor, Randy Christmas, and Harry Kramer, their host for the next week. The Wootens wrote to Christmas last year, said they wanted to visit Miami, but currency restrictions made it impossible. In Bayfront Park, the visitors get their first look at a coconut palm. From MacArthur Causeway, a glimpse of the Miami skyline. The Wootens could only bring 100 pounds, or less than $300, out of England to pay for their vacation. Their stay at the Venetian Isle Motel will be on the house to make matters easier on the budget. During a mid-afternoon tea arranged for the visitors, Mrs. Wooten had this to say.
Now, what are you going to look at first now that you're here?
Well, I'm most anxious to see those wonderful supermarkets I've heard so much about. And I think I'd just like to sit near this swimming pool and enjoy this lovely motel.
What do you folks think of American tea now that you've tried some?
Well, this particular cup is very good.
It's quite good, but not just the same as ours.
See you at 11. For now, good night. May the good news be yours.
Watch Ralph Reddick reporting every weeknight at this time. Tonight's program has been presented by Canada Dry, America's favorite ginger upper. The preceding news, weather, and sports shows directed by Bud Weil.
Time for a break. We'll be back with more Rewind in just a minute.
Be creative. Be a hero. Be the solution. Be connected. Be innovative. Be global. Be successful. Be you. Be MDC. Be Miami-Dade College.
Welcome back. Now it's time for the late news at 11 p.m., a short newscast packed with national and local news, from the passage of a civil rights bill in Washington to a local news roundup. All of it punctuated by live in-studio commercials for Luby Chevrolet. So sit back, relax, and take a look at yesterday's news.
Following immediately are the news, weather, sports, and the full-length musical The Singing Marine, co-starring Dick Powell, Doris Weston, and Alan Jenkins.
Luby Chevrolet, making news wherever cars are sold. In Boston, New York, Baltimore, and Miami presents Ralph Rennick and the 11 o'clock news.
The Senate tonight has passed the right to vote measure in the civil rights bill. From left to right, Senators Russell and Mahoney, who voted against the bill, and Senators Johnson, Noland, and Anderson, who supported the measure. The watered-down bill, designed to protect Negro voting rights, passed by a 72 to 18 vote. It now goes to the House, where another skirmish looms over the controversial jury trial amendment. Incidentally, Florida senators in tonight's vote apparently canceled out each other. Senators Holland and Smathers agreed the bill was improved. Holland voted against it. Smathers voted for it. And now, here's Jim Ward for Luby Chevrolet.
Luby makes news, big news, to everyone interested in owning a brand new 1958 Chevrolet. Because Luby, and only Luby, offers you a chance to be among the first to own a new 58 Chevrolet. The price, only $99 plus freight, federal excise, and local taxes. Yes, only Luby can do it, and here's how. Buy your 1957 Chevrolet now during Luby's big 19th anniversary sale. Then, model for model, style for style, equipment for equipment, Luby will trade that 57 Chevrolet for a brand new 58 model for only $99 plus freight and taxes. And the deal is guaranteed in writing. Yes, it's amazing, but it's true, and only Luby can do it. It's like getting 2 new cars for the price of 1. Or if you're a bargain hunter, go to Luby now during their 19th anniversary sale. They're clearing house of all remaining 57 Chevrolets at year-end discount prices. You'll never get a better deal than you will tomorrow at Luby Chevrolet, 1055 West Flagler Street. And now here's Ralph Rennick with the news.
A Soviet intelligence agent has been indicted as a spy. Flanked by 2 FBI men, Colonel Rudolph Abel arrives today for arraignment in New York City. He is the highest Soviet official ever to be charged with spying in the United States. There he is in the center of your screen. The 53-year-old cloak and dagger veteran is accused of masterminding an espionage ring which radioed military secrets to Russia from an office opposite New York's federal court. If convicted, he faces death in the electric chair. Soviet boss Khrushchev gets the cold shoulder today. In the center, with his hand on the railing, Khrushchev and other officials waved to the crowd after arriving in East Berlin for talks. But the officially mustered crowds didn't wave back. Not a cheer was heard, and hundreds walked away once the Kremlin boss began speaking. Neil McElroy will be our new defense secretary. The 52-year-old president of Procter & Gamble Soap Company was named to the post by President Eisenhower today. He's seen here during an interview with newsmen. He'll replace Charles Wilson later this month. The president voices hope at his news conference. Mr. Eisenhower gestures as he tells newsmen he has the utmost hope that Russia will agree to the new Western proposals made last week. He says any progress on the open skies inspection plan would be the greatest ray of hope since he's been in the White House. New York labor racketeer Johnny Dio takes the witness stand before Senate investigators tomorrow. They'll question him about his association with Teamsters Union Vice President James Hoffa. One of the great figures of comedy died today. Rotund Oliver Hardy, seen here in 1945 with his partner Stan Laurel, died at North Hollywood, California. He was 65. Hardy had been in poor condition since suffering a stroke last September. Nuclear blast number 11 at Yuccaplex, today. The mushroom rises some 35,000 feet in the air, the latest atomic detonation called Stokes, and the tail of a Navy blimp shown with Stokes cloud in the background in this photo. The blimp was in free flight 5 miles from ground zero, collapsed by the shock wave from the blast. Production of Asiatic Flu vaccine is being stepped up. At Indianapolis, a laboratory technician inoculates eggs containing chick embryos with Asian influenza virus. The company hopes to produce about 5 million doses a month by August 15th. An old man with a rifle is making a stand against the United States Army. Military police and U.S. Marshals are trying to get 82-year-old John Prather off his ranch in New Mexico. The Army wants to add it to a missile range, but the old-timer has threatened to shoot anybody who comes into his house. The government tonight figuring out its next move. A Chicago family evicted for having too many children. Mr. and Mrs. Carl McPherson and 5 of their 8 children sit with their belongings in a vacant lot. They have money, furniture, clothing, and food. The landlady says she evicted them because the family was too large for so small a home. The father and son live up to their names. Bill Ditto of Greensboro, North Carolina, is on the right. His father, H.Y. Ditto, is on the left. Bill broke his leg. When Dad ran to help him, he slipped on the curb. You guessed it, Ditto. In this state, the defense says it will end its case tomorrow in the impeachment trial of Miami Circuit Judge George Holt. Federal Judge Emmett Choate took the stand today, described Holt as a man of honor with judicial integrity. Defense attorney Richard Hunt, who paraded character witnesses before the Senate in Tallahassee, says he doesn't know if he'll call Judge and Mrs. Holt to the stand tomorrow. Dade County Commissioners today turned down a request for continued use of county property for an alcoholic rehabilitation center. Ma Green, a pioneer and worked for chronic alcoholics, asked the commission not to tear down the building now being used as a clinic. Commissioners sympathized with her, but refused her request. Ma runs a home for down-and-out derelicts at 66 Northwest 5th Street. She has another home elsewhere in the city. And as you saw on WTVJ tonight, a special program dealing with the problems of alcoholism. An open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous originated live from our studios. Various aspects of the chronic alcoholic were shown, the shakes which follow a long siege of drinking, the sneak drinker. These were not exaggerations, but depictions of actual cases. Persons in need of AA care are urged to call this number, Franklin 44773. 2 11-year-old Miami boys confessed today they broke into a neighbor's house while he was on vacation, tortured his crippled pet cat to death. A small loan firm has been accused of tying up telephone lines of a Miami insurance company in efforts to collect money from an employee. Domestic Finance Corporation has called the charges ridiculous. And now for Luby Chevrolet, here is Jim Ward.
Luby is celebrating a 19th anniversary, and to get you to join the celebration, Luby is offering you used cars at prices so low, you'll say, I love Luby, and join this great 19th anniversary sale. Here are just a few examples of Luby's used car values. Here's a 1955 Mercury Monterey hardtop coupe, radio, Mercomatic two-tone, white tires, showroom condition throughout, $15.99. And how about this 1953 Ford Custom Line two-door sedan? Radio, two-tone finish, 5 like-new tires, the cleanest in town, only $7.99. These are just a few examples of the many hundreds and many tremendous values available at Luby during the 19th anniversary sale. And there are hundreds more to choose from. So join Luby's 19th anniversary celebration at any one of Luby's 3 value-packed lots at 2480 Northwest 36th Street and 905 and 1950 West Flagler Street. All open daily and Sundays till 10 p.m. Now, more news with Ralph Rennick.
The body of a 32-year-old commercial fisherman recovered from Lake Okeechobee today. The victim, Walter Young, was missing since Monday when his 16-foot boat was caught in a squall at the north end of the lake. Tampa streets are waterlogged tonight. While a drought affects parts of the eastern seaboard, Tampa experiences more than 23 inches of rain above normal so far this year. Flooded conditions have affected the city. Officials say an emergency exists. M.A.S. McChrist, the Houston boy millionaire who purchased the 3 bays line from Arthur Vining Davis, announced in Miami today the signing of a contract for 3 large ships for his line to be built in France. That's the news. Weather to follow. A good night.
11 o'clock news with Ralph Rennick, directed by Dick Rennick, presented by Luby Chevrolet, makers of cars wherever they're sold in Boston, New York, Baltimore, and Miami.
That's about it for this edition of Rewind. Just time to mention that if you notice an occasional jump cut or awkward edit, remember, not all of the shows that have come down to us are complete. Some are missing scenes or whole segments. But all of these shows, even incomplete ones, offer us a fascinating glimpse of Florida's history. They're well worth a look. Rewind features historic film and video from the Lynn and Lewis Wolfson II Florida Moving Image Archives. To see more from the Wolfson Archives collections, visit our website, wolfsonarchives.org. You can search the Archives catalog, watch video online, and connect to our YouTube channel where you'll find hundreds of carefully curated clips. Or a link to the Wolfson Archives Facebook page to keep up with our busy calendar of historical happenings. Until next time, I'm Kevin Wynn. Thanks for watching.